Have you ever stumbled upon a place that quietly steals your heart? That's what happened when we visited Sungai Lembing. We arrived in Sungai Lembing in the afternoon and were greeted by the colorful entrance leading to the town. We spent 2 leisure days in this quiet town, climbing hills to catch the morning light, savoring the local foods, listening to the soothing rush of the waterfall. It was a refreshing escape, a world away from the hustle and bustle of city life. The street was very quiet, and only with occasional cars and motorcycles passing by. It was around 4 p.m. There's no rush here, no honking traffic, just quiet streets with the kind locals and the natures all around. In the middle of the road stand several giant trees which serve as part of the divider. The trees appear very ancient and now shaped, adding to the striking beauty of this treescape. I felt this was the essence of a small town, a relaxed pace of life, far away from the race of fame and the constant pressure faced by those in the bigger cities. We checked into Time Capsule Retreat just a few minutes away from town. It's a unique lodging experience as we can opt to stay in the individual capsule that's not wider than the bed and with shared toilets outside, or a more spacious one that comes with a private bathroom, a table, sofa, and other basic amenities. We chose the latter for comfort. The retreat's real charm lies in its settings. It's nestled in the woods and everything accessible only on foot. We wanted to experience that tranquil nature atmosphere but without giving up too much comfort. Don't expect first-class luxury here, but come to enjoy the rustic, raw feeling of being away from the city. Feeling a bit hungry, we decided to have some satay at one of the shops that's still open. As you can see, neighboring shops on both sides already closed. We had a short chat with the owner, who was grilling the satay himself, and he shared a few tips on where to visit and point out some places of interest around Sungai Lembing. So we drove to the suspension bridge according to the recommendation by the satay shop owner. It is a hanging wooden bridge that allows only pedestrians and motorbikes to cross. The entrance was painted in multiple bright colors, and the bridge stretched about 100 meters across the river to the other side of the village. There's nothing particularly spectacular to see, but it is the calmness and the quietness that make it worth to visit. And I would describe Sungai Lembing more than a village than a small town, especially from the perspective of someone coming from the city. The next morning, we booked a guided tour to the Rainbow Waterfall, and our guide picked us up at 5:30 a.m. to the market for breakfast, and surprised that so many customers were already there. He recommended us to try the Feng Min Dong, that is one of the most well-known noodle stores in the food court. We ordered the famous curry mee and Java mee, and of course, we come along with the Yong Tau Fu. This is the first time we tried the Sungai Lembing noodles, and we're gonna have it again in other shops later on. We began our drive to Rainbow Waterfall and stopped at Sunrise Hills to watch the sunrise. We were just facing directly to the right direction, the spot where the moon and the Venus side by side. The main attraction is of course the sea of clouds and if luck, sunrise. Today is a little bit overcast and the sun stayed behind the clouds, but the drifting layers of clouds between the mountain layers is still a joy to watch.
Leave my thoughts on the table, set my keys by the door. All these fortune and fables, I don't think they need us no more. in my head like a blitzkrieg.
We have made a separate videos dedicated entirely to Rainbow Waterfall. So you can watch the videos by clicking the links in the description box below the video. But meanwhile, let me continue our journey and show you the highlights. The journey itself was an adventure, as the road is entirely off-road and only accessible by 4-wheel drive. We crossed shallow rivers, and the entire drive from Sungai Lembing to the trailhead took about an hour. The trail began after we wade through a knee-deep water, and from there we continued trek for about an hour, and the final stretch was even more rocky and uneven, required us to climb over rocks and wade through more streams. It's a little bit hard, but every step was worth when we arrived just in time, and the sun hit the waterfall at a perfect angle. It created a stunning double rainbow above the shallow pool.
依家唔緊張，我俾我相你睇。如果你認為
What was even more mesmerizing was when we stand in the pool and seeing a full halo of rainbows surrounding us. It was just arm's length away. It's so magical.
3D 完全
After the waterfall, we have another round of noodles. The first shop we came across is with a colorful signboard that reads Mee Sungai Lembing. The front part of the shop is the noodle production area. It's not operating during that time, but we still can see the freshly prepared dough sitting in the mixer. Then the back area that's facing the river is converted into a small restaurant, and we sat down there to enjoy another serving of the Lembing noodles. Besides the noodles, we also tried the tofu fa, which is incredibly silky and smooth. So what is so different about these Sungai Lembing noodles? It is renowned for being made using the traditional techniques passed down through generations, and they have a slightly chewy, springy texture, and they use the high quality water mountain that is naturally rich in minerals, together with the time-tested noodle making skill. That's why it is so special. After that, we went to the next door, which is called Gua Charas, and they sell the similar items. But what caught our eyes is they are busy making the traditional coconut biscuits. These biscuits are unique to Sungai Lembing and are usually enjoyed by dipping them into a hot cup of coffee. On the second day, we stayed in Quantan and then returned to Sungai Lembing early in the morning to climb up Panorama Hill. The first part of the hike is a trail. It quickly turns into a concrete steps with metal railings. The hike in darkness with our headlamps lighting the way really reminds me what our experience when climbing Mount Kinabalu, as well as hiking up to Poon Hill in Nepal. Midway up, there's a viewpoint. We could see the town of Sungai Lembing with multicolored lights. As the sky was gradually lighted up, we could see a sea of clouds floating just below the buildings. Finally, we reached the top where there's a small hut and a fork in the path lead to different viewpoints. So I first took the right turn and brought us to a viewpoint facing the west. And there is a big colorful Panorama Hill signboard. And then I returned and took the other path leading to the east and hoping to get a beautiful sunrise view. The beautiful panoramic view is facing the east, but with a sea of clouds stretching across the landscape only because we couldn't see the sunrise due to the thick clouds near the horizon. Nevertheless, it's still a great experience. We enjoyed chatting with other like-minded hikers and took plenty of photographs. We returned to Sungai Lembing town to have another round of the Lembing noodles at Lembing Fun Lok Siu Gun, Kedai Makan Fun. By now, the town is totally different from the day we came and is much livelier than before, and I guess it is because of lunchtime and the tour buses arriving and most of the shops are now opened. We spoke to the owner Fanny, who explained that the tofu is exceptionally smooth is because of the high quality mountain water in this region.
So the fillings is have fish paste as well as minced pork together in 2 layers, not mixed together, separated.
OK， 你睇嗰個味道，你食落去嗰種感覺，你講俾你知，嗰種感覺 ，sorry， 嗰種感覺係咪好鮮甜？嗰個豬肉唔係
佢鮮甜滑，同埋有埋嗰個上湯配起嚟咧。
呢個就係我哋臨命歡樂小館嘅特別風味。真係嘅，嗰個乾撈麵。
You have to go everything together.
Yes.
呢個係山水豆腐嚟嘅。
You need to have the sauce. You need to have the tofu. You need to have the meat all in one in the mouth.
Nice piece 佢嘅 chili， 佢嘅 chili 要點少少落去，佢嘅味道會更加香。因為點解？呢個 chili 我哋自己 homemade 嘅，唔係賣嘅。
佢呢個係好 fresh 嗰種。
Yes。
佢唔係好膠嗰種，好 fresh 嗰種。
呢個係啡蜜，有樹頭婆。
Hello， 唔雙腰嘅，所以我哋湯係全部我哋嘅 homemade 做。因
為你個湯都係 homemade 嘅。
係。
用骨熬嘅 pork bones， 豬骨。pork and chicken。會唔會係因為呢度嘅山水特別咧？呢個地方。啱啦。
加上山水豆腐。
山同水再加埋你嘅心擠埋落去，如果唔係就冇咁嘅味道。
啱啦，一定要配合，真係要配合，要山水就配合到我哋用心去做每一樣嘢。係，真係有嗰種感覺。
On the way back from Sungai Lembing to Quantan, we diverted to a cave which is quite unique as it houses a Hindu and a Buddhist temple.
87.
This one is not
We walked up a flight of stairs and reached to the first section, which is a Buddhist shrine. The shrine is dedicated to Buddha as well as to 2 Thai monks.
Where is Sleeping Buddha? Up.
And it is built within a limestone cave.
Okay.
Sikit turun atas tengok punya Musa sendiri jadi ya. Original dia kan simbol sebenarnya 20 tahun kemudian
From there, we walk up further where we have to provide a 2 ringgit donation as requested to go up further, climb several flights of metal stairs and eventually lead to the upper cave. This cave is quite huge. There are 2 temples. One is a Buddhist temple, the other one is Siva temple. The Siva temple is right inside. If you go further in from here, go to the very end is the Siva temple, which was built much later. And the Buddhist temple was built much earlier, if I'm not mistaken, according to the gentleman that we met, is in 1947. But it is also rare that, in the cave there is an Indian temple and there's also a Buddhist temple together harmoniously, which is something which I've never seen anywhere else so far. Some rock formation are actually quite nice. You look at this one. This one is just right at the entrance of the cave. It is a large limestone cave with a pathway and stairs that guide us deeper inside. There are a few unique limestone formations. One of them resembles the Goddess of Mercy on the left cliff. And on the right, there's another worship area which is dedicated to white snakes. According to the gentleman we met, there are a total of 7 white snakes in this cave, which I consider rare to witness. And he even showed us the photos of the snakes he had taken before. And further inside is a 50-meter long rock that resembles a reclining Buddha. It is said to have been placed there by a Thai monk in the 1960s. Further in is a Hindu shrine dedicated to Lord Shiva. There is a small altar for prayer, and when we visited, some devotees were praying there. Gua Charas is not very well maintained as compared to many other temple caves that we have visited, as it is still undergoing some kind of construction. Nevertheless, it remains one of the few multi-religious caves that we encounter. And there's no public transport to reach this place, so the best option is to drive there yourself. Next, we arrive at the Panching Waterfall, just about 10 minutes of driving distance from Gua Charas. When we were there, it was crowded, mostly occupied by local families who come to enjoy picnics. The waterfall has 2 cascades. The upper one is closer to the waterfall. It is a popular spot for swimming and also attracts some youngsters who are eager to take on the stronger currents. The lower tier, on the other hand, is more family friendly, and the water there is shallow, calm and slow, making it ideal for families and children.
Adele is having a good time. Children are playing. They're having picnics. It's more like a park than a natural waterfall.
We follow a path that leads to a hanging bridge, which is a vantage point to watch the waterfall.
And there's a hanging bridge in front. I think it's nice to go up to the hanging bridge. Let's move. Upstream a little bit, there's some huge rock, and after the rock is the waterfall.
And the waterfall is surrounded by dense forest. We saw some monkeys roaming, some tropical birds are singing. It's a place that feels so close to nature, and yet it is so easily accessible from the city.
Another small pool on top, which is quite safe, and there's a lot of people playing water.
When we were there, we saw some people at the upper cascade climbing those large rocks and lying between clusters of stones and enjoy the water's flow. We had covered most of the interesting places and eateries in Sungai Lembing, but we thought that our trip wouldn't be complete without more understanding about the past and learning a little bit more about the history of this mining town. So we head to the Sungai Lembing Museum to gain a deeper insight. Over here, there are different exhibits, including the story about how the name Sungai Lembing comes from, the history about Sungai Lembing, how is it becomes a mining town, And we also learned that this museum's building was originally built to house the general manager of some European companies. Then during the Japanese occupation during World War II, it becomes the headquarters of the Japanese Armed Forces. And then there are exhibits about how the mining is being done that include the drills, helmets, uniforms, safety gears, and so on. That concludes our 2 days itinerary at Sungai Lembing. So, what's your impression about Sungai Lembing? For me, it offers a glimpse into a slower, simple way of life. There's no rush here, no honking traffic, just quiet streets, kind local people, and nature's all around. I hope you love these videos and subscribe to our channel so you'll be notified in the first moment whenever I have any new video uploaded. Please also watch my videos about places to visit in Quantan and things to eat in Quantan, and see you then in the next video.